Princess Amelia built a TikTok empire that made it seem like she was living every teenager's dream. However, it didn't take long for what started as a simple hobby to spiral into one of TikTok's darkest child influencer stories. My name's Ryan, and today we'll be looking at the disturbing side of Princess Amelia. Amelia first appeared on TikTok in late 2022, unaware that within months, she would become one of the platform's fastest rising stars. At just 14 years old, she began uploading short videos from her bedroom, no different from the kind millions of other teenagers were making. Her content at the time seemed ordinary, revolving around simple makeup tutorials, short dances, and fun moments with her brother. But even in those early clips, there was something different about her that made her stand out from other creators. She had a personality that drew people in and made them want to stay. One of her earliest breakthroughs came from a character she played called the spoiled sister. Loud,
I hate you.
I'm the most loved person in this family.
I hate my brother.
spoiled, and overly dramatic.
I want boba, I'm so stressed.
It wasn't entirely a new idea, but the way she delivered it made it feel fresh. Audiences latched on quickly, calling it cool, and suddenly, Amelia had her first real surge of attention. That moment marked the beginning of a shift in her content, as her page started to evolve into something much bigger. Within a few months, her videos looked sharper and more polished, with every detail feeling carefully staged. Viewers noticed the change almost immediately, leaving comments like "you changed so fast" and even "you look like a K-pop idol." Her follower count reflected the shift because in less than 2 years, she had gone from a few thousand viewers to millions. It climbed so fast that by age 15, she was already ranking number 37 on Twins and Siblings US, a sign of just how fast more people were beginning to notice her. But as her content became more polished, the question shifted from what Amelia was building to who was helping her build it. The consistency and level of sophistication in her content didn't look like the work of a teenager alone, and soon, viewers started noticing another presence behind the princess persona, her older brother Thomas Wu. Thomas wasn't just family. Before Amelia grew up, he had his own modest following online, first as a semi-pro boxer posting training footage, and later as a lifestyle influencer. He already understood how attention works online, so when Amelia's content started shifting from casual bedroom clips to videos designed to go viral, it didn't look accidental. Thomas's fingerprints were everywhere. Fans picked up on it too, with comments like "it's all just scripted," while others told her, "Amelia, please start keeping your content more authentic. You don't always have to listen to what your brother demands from you." Sometimes he stepped into the spotlight himself, playing the foil to her spoiled sister's character.
Where's my 10 cup of boba?
What do you mean 10 cups of
Where's
boba?
my 10 cup of boba welcoming Princess Amelia coming home?
You just got home and you already have that many demands? I'm already tired of you, dude. Can you go back to where you came from?
Or was heard hyping her up from behind the camera.
Okay.
Wait, I'm using my brain.
Use max brain power. Not bad.
But the more Thomas appeared, the more people began to notice that things didn't sit right. Clips started circulating where he was seen touching and handling Amelia in ways that were shocking and disturbing. The comment sections reflected the unease, with comments like, "Can we honestly just jail Thomas because he's literally exploiting his little sister for what? Fame? And I don't know how people see this and don't question it on their accounts. That's hella weird. He's 25, literally a dude. He should know that touching his 16-year-old sister like that looks weird." And soon, what began as concerns in the comment section blew into a much larger debate. Clips of Thomas and Amelia were discussed and broken down by commentary channels on YouTube, with entire videos dedicated to analyzing their interactions. Some viewers saw nothing wrong, writing, "Y'all need to stop it in the comments. They're siblings and they're doing nothing wrong. They're just close." But critics weren't convinced. To them, the evidence was hard to ignore. For instance, in one video, Thomas captioned that they were the #1 couple in Japan, even adding a video description confirming that they were a sibling couple. And in another video, Thomas also suggested in the description that Amelia was his maid girlfriend, sparking an absolute frenzy in the comment section. These clips only confirmed to the audience that the relationship wasn't typical, but something close to another episode of Siblings or dating. And because all of this was happening in front of millions of people, every interaction between them didn't go unnoticed. Each hug, each touch, each joke added another layer of unease. And it's here, in that weird dynamic between Amelia and her brother, that the story takes another disturbing turn. Because as her princess persona continued growing, she slowly started attracting a much older audience who saw her through an entirely different lens. Comment sections, once filled with playful jokes and support from peers, only grew stranger with time. Mixed into the supportive messages from her younger audience were comments like, "I got something in my eye," while others crossed the line completely, suggesting things like, "It's definitely bubblegum pink." The contrast was jarring. Her young fans saw her as someone to look up to, while some adults saw her as someone to sexualize despite her age. By this point, Amelia's page had become a magnet for predators. Each upload pulled in not only the younger fans who had been there since the beginning, but also fans who clearly didn't belong in her audience.
Well, the fact that he's saying that he's watched this whole video for 10 hours straight tells me that he was probably doing something diabolical while watching that video for 10 hours. But you know what, guys? Maybe the nerd emojis are right. Maybe the guy who posted this devious comment is just a 14-year-old kid himself. I mean, let's look at this.
And just like that, her TikTok slowly turned into a breeding ground for pedophiles and weird people hiding in plain sight, with some even openly saying, "I've been gooning to you since you were a kid." The worst part is that no one else was stopping it. The inappropriate comments didn't hurt her growth, instead, they fueled it. Every remark, whether it came from a young fan saying, "A white teardrop just went down my leg," or an adult planning to kidnap her, each counted as engagement, which the algorithm rewarded with more eyeballs. And as the numbers exploded, her content began to change as well. The Amelia once known for playful sibling skits and a cheeky princess character began showing up differently. Her outfits got tighter, her poses became more provocative, and her captions leaned more into suggestive humor. Initially, it seemed like a teenager experimenting with style and fashion, the way millions of others do. But it slowly became clear that her image was being shaped in real time by the strangers commenting on her videos. And Amelia started openly embracing this dark side of her audience that brought in more views.
Somebody the other day asked me, how do I look 32 and 13 at the same time? Lollipop. Lollipop time. Like, what the fuck?
The result was that every time she appeared in something more revealing, exposing herself, engagement in her videos spiked. Each time she struck an older, more polished pose, the engagement multiplied. Adults were rewarding her for appearing mature, for dressing and behaving like someone twice her age. Meanwhile, her parents remained silent. In many influencer families, parents step in when boundaries are crossed, moderating comments, limiting exposure, or addressing public concerns. But in Amelia's case, there was no attempt to protect her from the predators circling her account. This clearly demonstrated that to them, as long as the attention brought income, it didn't matter where it came from. The result was an audience split in two, where on one side, kids and teens who saw Amelia as a role model. On the other hand, adults who sexualized her content and encouraged her to appear older. That collision of audiences played out in real time under every single video she posted. And the truth is, Amelia wasn't doing anything unusual. She was posting dances, skits, and outfits like millions of other teenagers. The difference was the audience she attracted and the predators who refused to respect her as a minor. And Thomas's role only made things worse because he was also shaping how Amelia was being seen. Being more experienced on social media, he helped her lean more into what people wanted, choosing her outfits and pushing her into poses that felt far too mature for her age. As expected, his outfit choices only attracted more of the same kind of attention she was already getting. And instead of protecting her from it, Thomas turned that attention into content, handing it straight back to the audience. In doing so, Thomas was sexualizing his own sister in front of millions, crossing the one boundary no brother ever should. Then came a video that made everything worse, where Thomas was seen forcing Amelia to open her mouth to fit a mouthpiece mold.
Open your mouth, I'm putting it in. Open your mouth wide. I'm putting it in. Open your mouth wide.
I think this might actually work though.
Okay, bite down.
It might have seemed like a playful stunt, but the clip came across as sexual and suggestive, intensifying the predatory attention in her comments. Each moment like this confirmed to viewers that sexualized engagement was a part of her content. The situation gets worse when you see how viewership spiked whenever Amelia appeared in Thomas's videos. Clips that featured him alone would get modest views, but the moment Amelia was present, views would explode. This kind of exposure introduced her to his much older audience, creating an opportunity for adults already familiar with Thomas to interact with Amelia, fueling the growth of the dark side of her audience. By producing packaging and content like this, Thomas turned his sister into a product, which only ended up doing her more harm than good. And since Amelia isn't old enough to monetize her own channels, likely all the earnings flowed through Thomas's accounts, raising difficult questions like whether he was protecting his sister or he was cashing in at her expense. As Amelia's empire continued being seen by newer audiences, she became more popular, and with her popularity, invitations from influencer circles quickly followed. She appeared in videos with former members of the XO team, a group known for trend-driven content. At first, these collaborations seemed like natural steps in her career, a young creator leveling up by joining the ranks of bigger names. But they brought in a new kind of evil. XO's style was not always age-appropriate, music with explicit lyrics, dances built around suggestive moves, and fashion choices more suited to adults than teenagers were common features. Collaborating with these groups may have boosted her growth, but they were the ones truly cashing in on her fame. It wasn't about showcasing her talent anymore, it was about using her fame to lift entire brands and pages. And as the filming continued, so did the pressure to hold everything together. By now, the princess persona still existed, but it was layered with influences that complicated how fans and critics saw her. If collabs nudged Amelia toward trendy content, the real driver was TikTok's algorithm. More than any manager, parent, or peer, TikTok's algorithm is designed to push out videos that spark engagement, and Amelia's content fits that formula perfectly. Overnight, a single glamour shot or dance video could rack up millions of views, showing how the algorithm liked videos that mixed a cute innocent vibe with a more grown-up look. And the more her videos spread, the more she leaned into that character, whether intentionally or under Thomas's direction. For Amelia, that meant every viral video tied her more tightly to the version of herself the platform wanted. Each like or comment gave her videos the boost they needed, pushing them onto For You pages all over the world. But what the algorithm saw as engagement was coming mostly from the same people sexualizing her image. Their uncomfortable obsession counted as positive signals, and that's what the platform rewarded. Soon, her content was being recommended to more people who regularly interacted with sexualized videos of minors, putting her face on the screens over and over again. Her content had now turned into a digital trap where attention, no matter how disturbing, only made her more visible. While all of this happened, the person behind it all was still a 16-year-old trying to grow up under constant scrutiny. Even though she rarely showed it, the pressure was starting to break her down. During an interview on the Eli and Mike podcast, Amelia spoke about how content creation can be stressful, especially a minor still trying to balance school, family, and growing fame.
Again, it's like draining.
Oh my god.
I know, that's why I took like breaks sometimes from like video and stuff, because it does get to the point where it's not fun no more, but it's actual work.
Right.
It's not entertaining, you don't feel fun, this doesn't feel like your hobby, it feels like you're forced to do this.
The internet saw a confident young creator living her dream, but behind the image was a teenager under constant pressure to stay consistent and to never let the numbers drop.
My mood and how I feel is based off how good my video does sometimes.
Okay.
You know, like it does bad, then it's like, wow, what can I do now? And I get stressed out, like, what if this is like the point I fell off? Like, you never know.
Her entire career had quietly turned into an endless performance. Every day came with a ton of work, and every moment off camera was spent preparing for the next upload. Over time, that weight started to show because the spark that once came so naturally began to fade. Viewers who had followed her from the beginning could feel it asking questions like, she looks kinda sad, or is it just me? But still she pushed forward because stopping wasn't an option, not when millions were watching. Then came a small but deeply unsettling detail. In one of her videos, Amelia wore a pin necklace, making fans concerned about her safety. At first, it looked like just another accessory, but to some, it meant something far more serious. She never mentioned it, never explained it, but for those who recognized the meaning, it said everything she couldn't put into words. One fan put it perfectly saying, guys, her necklace doesn't mean she tried to unalive herself, it's a promise necklace for you to not unalive yourself if anything happens. It was the first real sign that pressure and the unrelenting scrutiny had finally started to catch up with her. While her audience saw a cheerful, polished creator, the person behind the screen was quietly falling apart, struggling to hold herself together under a spotlight that never turned off. If you enjoyed this video, you'll probably like these next ones as well, and don't forget to subscribe.